No need to try to attach or not attach in whatever ways. This is the answer for everything. No need to try to let go or not letting go in whatever ways. There is no need to try to attach or not attach in whatever ways. This is leaving no trace of non-attachment. It is the answer for everything. It will give ending to the delusion to practice. The delusion to make the body and mind in whatever ways will be ended. It will end right away. Without listening like this, you will just continue further and further by misleading of the desire. The desire will keep on with the effort. The five aggregates is like a scapegoat. Body and mind is the scapegoat. The five aggregates is the body and the mind, composed of the physical body, the sensation, the perception or memories, mental formations, and the consciousness. In other words, this is called form and formlessness, the body and the mind. This is like the end result. The cause itself is the desire, the state of the desire, which has been detailed in different names. Is actually the state of the desire, the attributes of the desire. The attributes of the desire with the efforts like this, like that. The knower is actually the scapegoat, is the end result. The desire is overlaying, trying to know. The five aggregates is actually the scapegoat. It's being done to practice. Which one that is the practice actually is the desire, how to end it. Attempt to end itself actually. Then the practice will be ended. Trying to end itself is still a practice. So end the attempt to end itself. Just listen carefully how to end it. That which has nothing to do with relating or not relating. There is no need to try to relate or not relate. This is ending the practice already. Trying to not relate is itself the desire that is still misleading. In Nibbana, there is no such thing as relating or not relating. So how come it's happening in such a way of relating or not relating? It's actually the desire itself. Misleading to have relating and not relating. The desiring, misleading to have engaging and disengaging. The desire, misleading to have and not have, to attach and not attached. But in Nibbana, there is no such thing as having or not having. So how come having and not having is there? It's the desire that is misleading. That's why it's there. There is no attachment or detachment, but the desire is misleading to have the effort to attach and detach. The anatta cannot be called attachment or detachment. The anicca as well cannot be called attachment or detachment. When we call it, that means we added it by ourselves. The five aggregates, the body and mind, is not the boss, not the big boss of the suffering. No need to try to let go or not letting go in whatever ways. There is no need to try to attach or not attach. There is no need to try to liberate or not liberate. There is no need to try to be obliged or not obliged. There is no need to expect or not expect anything. That's all. The body and mind, or the five aggregates, is the scapegoat. The practitioner actually is the desire, practicing the knowing, practicing everything. Thoughts, recalls, memories is done by the desire with the effort. The knower that is with the effort to know, the seer that has the effort to see. This is the desire that is practicing the knower. Don't try to stop the five aggregates, giving ending to the one that practices the body and the mind instead. Giving ending to the attempt or the effort to practice the body and the mind, the five aggregates. The effort to practice the body and the mind. This is called end the practice. This is not to practice in order to end. Instead, you do that for the worldly things. Compromisingly, use the effort to end a task, the worldly task, but with the essence. The true essence actually is not about practicing in order to end anything. End the effort to practice instead. Why is it so? The enlightenment is the effort is itself the desire that is practicing. The effort to practice is the desire, which is fabricating itself. Listen carefully. That which has nothing to do with attachment or non-attachment. This is not about trying to engage or disengage. It's not about trying to attach or not attached. Trying to not attach is actually the desire that is misleading to do so. Try to engage is like an obsession, clinging and being obsessed. Being preoccupied and obsessed is called trying to attach, trying to cling. This is the desire. This is all about the desire to relate. To relate or not relate is the desire that is misleading to do so. This is all about practicing the body and mind. Dhamma is also another aggregate. Without the desire misleading it, the body and mind is like the elements of earth, air, water, and fire. It is as it is. It is the natural element. However, the systems of the body and the mind has the habits with the usage of it. It can be done, but it has to be bygone. In any situations of the usage, is bygone to itself. That's it. There is some kind of speculation about the five aggregates, the body and the mind, that has to be extinguished. Extinguishing all the thoughts, extinguish all the memories, this and that. This is a misunderstanding, right? No, this is opinions and meanings that is guessing, speculating. It is just a speculation. Won't you be ashamed to the nature? The nature doesn't have to extinguish itself. Aren't you ashamed with the earth, air, water, and fire? They don't have to extinguish themselves. They are not alive. Luang Por said, it has nothing to do there. It's not relevant. You create conditions by your own opinions and meanings, having to extinguish like this, like that. This is a delusion to create opinions and meanings, having to be bound to be free. So the idea about having to extinguish the thought, having to extinguish the five aggregates, the four aggregates, Luang Por said, listen again, not arising, not ceasing. Listen again, huh? Because this is conflicting. Extinguishing like this, extinguishing like that is conflicting. Listen again, not arising, not ceasing. This is not even risky. It's actually a delusion. What is it about arising and ceasing? Birthing and extinguishing? There is no such a thing. The body and the mind arising and ceasing. The body and the mind arising and ceasing. This is opinions and meanings creating it. The desire, misleading opinions and meanings. That which has nothing to do with relating or not relating. There is no such thing as arising or ceasing, birthing or extinguishing. This is the idea misled by the desire. This is conditioned by opinions and meanings. In the anatta, there is no such thing as arising and ceasing. This is the basic characteristics of all things in nature. The natural characteristics. Anatta. There is no such thing as arising and ceasing, birthing and extinguishing, truly. That's anatta. Everything is anatta. Arising is anatta. Ceasing is anatta. This is already compromising. Everything is anatta. Within the anatta, there is no such thing as attachment or non-attachment as it is. When there is attachment or non-attachment, it will turn into the meanings that is created by the opinions and meanings. It becomes atta. Through anatta, there is no attachment or non-attachment there. When attachment or non-attachment is there, it is compromised to give meanings because of the ideas, opinions and meanings. Is the atta. Therefore, When you assume up attachment and non-attachment with such an idea, it is you assume up idea with the compromising language. Right in front of Luang Por, it's impossible to show up the cause of the suffering. Impossible. When there is conversation like this, there is a release and unlocked. So don't use the language that has been used in the way that is stagnation in the language itself. Arising and ceasing, when you say that, do they say that they are arising and ceasing? Your own ideas, your own opinions and meanings say that by yourself. The arising and the ceasing has been delusively created by the idea, opinions and meanings. Already mentioned, even meaninglessness doesn't mean meaninglessness itself. If you just grab the meanings of meaninglessness as meaninglessness, actually you already create the meaning for the meaninglessness already. That's grasping the meaninglessness as meaninglessness. This is imposing meaninglessness towards all things. That doesn't have meaning. This doesn't have meaning. This is imposing meaninglessness towards all things. Meaninglessness doesn't have meaning as meaninglessness. It's impossible to impose meaninglessness towards anything at all. This doesn't have meaning, that doesn't have meaning. Actually, there is meaning in the meaninglessness itself. It's already create meanings to the meaninglessness. Just like isn't, that is given the idea of isn't to impose on things. Knowledge, devour knowledge. Let there be no more traces here. Knowledge, devour knowledge, just grasping. This is full knowledge. Yes, full up to your chest, suffocating with sensations. This is belief values in the way. Knowledge and devour knowledge, just devouring, seeing and knowing. You will see by yourself when you are leaving your physical body. When your five aggregates, the fifth aggregate, which is the physical body, is not there, but the four aggregates are still remaining. It will be uptight within itself. The physical body functions as a ventilation. It's like an air ventilation. Vedana sensations, sanya impressions, sankhara mental formations, vinyan consciousness. These are the composition of the mind. They themselves composed of heat. Each aggregate, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vinyan, has heat in itself. When there is physical body, the physical body functions as an air ventilation, so it releases the heat for all the composition of the mind.
เหมือนเครื่องเสียงที่ก็มีแผ่นระบายความร้อนมีวัสดุที่ระบายความร้อนในตัวเครื่องเสียงให้
Just like a stereo that has an air ventilation in itself.
ตัวเสียงที่ไม่มีตัวระบายความร้อน
Without the air ventilation, the heat will be exploded. The system of the 5 aggregates as well. The physical body will do one level of releasing. The physical body is functioning as releasing of the agitation of the mind. It supports like that at one level. So when the mind leaves the body, the physical body is not there any longer. The mind has no support to release itself out. It's pure mind. Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vinyan, circling in itself, on and on. You will see full knowledge what it means actually. Full of sensation, full of hindrances and obstructions. This is the kind of those who are full of devour knowledge. Seeing, grasping for knowing. Seeing, grasping for grasping. Memorizing, grasping for memorizing. Already mentioned. Sensation is anatta. Impression is anatta. Mental formation is anatta. Consciousness is anatta. They are reciting in such a way like birds, on and on. They are persuading each other to recite in such a way on and on like cuckoos. Repeat after me, repeat after me, repeat after me. Recite like me. The 4 aggregate is like has no place to release because it's conditioned by one's own delusive attachments. The 5 aggregates compile with the delusive attachment. They mix together, they add all together. The delusive attachment comes all together as one. It is the delusive attachment of the aggregates, the 5 aggregates. That's the big boss of the samudaya. The desire and the delusive attachment composed with the body and the mind. So when the physical body has been left, the mind, the 4 aggregates, just remains in such a way with the concentration of the mind. Just like those who practice meditation with the delusive attachment to the crystal, resulting in the crystal mind and being stuck in such a state of mind. Such a delusive attachment to this kind of meditation, resulting in a form of oneself sitting in the crystal on and on, unable to leave the crystal because of the training in such a meditation with the delusive attachment. This is the same as those who practice concentration to the wall, After the body has been left, the mind is stuck on the wall where it has been trained with. It becomes a special karmic payback zone of the mind.
เฉพาะมันก็หลงเฉพาะอะไรมามันก็ใช้กรรมกับตรงที่หลงเฉพาะนั้น
Being specific, any object that has been delusively practicing and training with, one has to pay back the karma with such an object that has been delusively trained with. Becoming realms of existence in an object that delusively trained with. The training with meditative absorption, then the karmic payback is to be with meditative absorption.
แต่เฉพาะสมาธิมาอยู่สมาธิมันก็จะไม่ใช่วิบากอยู่สมาธิ
If training with concentration, then the payback is gonna be particularly with concentration.
แต่ถ้าไอ้ตัวเขาอยู่มันคืออะไรก็คือตัณหาอุปาทานผนวกกันเข้าเป็นตัวเขาอยู่
So what is it that is called the attempt to be? It is actually the desire and the delusive attachment comes together. It becomes the effort to be.
ตัวตนจริงมันไม่มีมันมีแค่ตัณหาอุปาทานที่มันเป็นวสี
The true self doesn't exist actually. There is only the desire and the delusive attachment that is habitually acting.
เป็นวสีของตัณหาอุปาทาน
It is the habit of the desire and delusive attachments.
การยึดการเกาะเป็นภาพ
The true self doesn't exist. The desire and the delusive attachment has been acting itself every once in a while, or manipulating continuously, or not continuously.
นั่นคำว่าต่อเนื่องเนี่ยมันใช้ได้กับระบบภูมิตัณหามันไม่มีสำหรับเรื่องว่างต่อเนื่อง
The system of continuity can be used for the system of the desire, but with the emptiness, this doesn't exist.
ว่างเนี่ยมันไม่ต้องไปต่อเนื่อง
The emptiness doesn't have to be continuous because it doesn't exist. Therefore, it doesn't have to be continuous or not. The desire and delusive attachments can do continuously.
เอาอะไรไปต่อเนื่องไอ้ตัวแสบเกิดขึ้นแล้ว
This is troublemaker. What is there to be made continuously?
ต้องความยาวนานของแต่ละบุคคลที่ยาวนาน
มันก็เขาปลูกก็จะดาวแช่นานมันก็เขาปลูกก็ยาว
Drowning for a long time, then the length of existence is long time as well, accordingly.
เกิดจากที่มันตกจาก
ขนาดพระโพธิดรมาใหม่แล้วก็ยังแช่เลย
Even the new Buddha era is happening. It's impossible to come to an end to itself because they like
ก็ชอบแล้วแช่หลง
to drown,
ใช่ก็หลงแช่
delusively liking, delusively thinking that it is the way, then is drowning delusively. Liking something that is not about liking.
ไปแช่กับสิ่งที่มันไม่แช่ไปแช่กับสิ่งที่มันไม่ใช่
Drowning within something that is not about drowning. Using the idea of isn't towards something that has nothing to do with the ideas of isn't.
ตัวหลงใช่ก็เลยเป็นพิษในตัวมันเองตัวหลงแช่ก็เลยเป็นพิษในตัวมันเองตัวหลงชอบก็เลยเป็นทุกข์กริยาในตัวหลงชอบธรรมพิษคือทุกข์กริยา
The delusion with the idea of is itself poisonous. Delusively drowning is itself poisonous. Delusively liking is itself the act of the suffering. Poisons means suffering acts.
ตัวหลงใช่ก็เป็นทุกข์กริยาในตัวหลงใช่ตัวหลงชอบก็เป็นทุกข์กริยาในตัวหลงชอบ
The delusion in the idea of is itself is the act of the suffering. Delusively liking is itself the suffering act.
แล้วมันมีวิบาก
And there is a karmic difficulty.
จะต้องเป็นอย่างนั้นอยู่เรื่อยๆเรื่องวิบาก
It has always repeating itself like in such a way. This is called vibak, karmic difficulties.
ไอ้เดิมๆก็มาอีกแล้วเดิมๆมาอีก
The same pattern comes back again. It's called karmic difficulties.
แค่ฟังอย่างเดียวเขาก็จะออกได้
แค่ฟังจะฟังเรื่อย
Just listen and continue to listen.
ไม่ต้องพยายามออกเราแค่ฟัง
There is no need to let go or not letting go in whatever ways again. Everything. Everything. Don't forget the word everything. There is no need to let go or not letting go in whatever ways again. This will give ending to all about drowning or not drowning, naturally.